Tonight's story was sent in by user A2pro75 on Reddit. I do maintenance work at the Chernobyl nuclear plant. Never come here at night. If you don't know, Chernobyl was a nuclear power plant in the Soviet Union, now Ukraine, in the 1980s. Reactor 4 of the plant exploded at 1:23 a.m. on the 26th of April, 1986. It is the worst nuclear disaster in history, and it remains radioactive till this day, and will continue to be so until the next 10,000 years. I've been doing maintenance work at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant for 6 years now. Day shifts mostly. Stuff like routine checks, equipment repairs, monitoring the containment structures, etc. It's quiet work, and the pay is decent enough to keep me coming back. The zone has become as familiar to me as my own apartment in Kiev. But 3 weeks ago, they asked me to cover some night shifts. Budget cuts, they said. Fewer crews, longer hours. You know how it is. I needed the overtime pay because prices have skyrocketed since the war began, so I said yes. I should have said no, because what came that night, nothing could have prepared me for it. The first thing you notice about the Chernobyl at night isn't the silence, it's how wrong the sounds are. During the day, you hear what you'd expect: wind through broken windows, metal creaking as temperatures change, the distant hum of monitoring equipment. Normal sounds for a dead place. At night, the animals came out, and they're different. The first time, I saw a wolf walking upright. I thought my eyes were playing tricks on me because it was standing maybe 50 meters away, perfectly balanced on its hind legs like a person, just watching me through the fence. When I turned my flashlight on it, the reflection from its eyes wasn't the usual yellow green that you'd expect. They glowed a bluish color, like the color you see in those old photos of reactor cores. I blinked, and it was gone. The next night, I saw three of them, walking in a single file along the main road, upright, arms swaying at their sides like they were heading to work. It was quite the unusual sight. I radioed it in, but dispatch just told me to stay inside the buildings and continue my rounds. The birds, they were worse. I watched a flock of ravens pass over Reactor 3, only to begin flying in perfect circles around it. 25 birds, perfectly spaced, all flying the same circular pattern. They flew like that for exactly 11 minutes. I timed it, and then they flew away in complete silence. But it was the deer that made me stop sleeping between shifts. I was checking the coolant systems in building 2 when I heard hoofbeats on concrete. Slow, deliberate, like footsteps. Was there someone else on this shift that I didn't know about? I looked out the window and saw a stag walking upright down the corridor of the administrative building across the courtyard. It was carrying something in its mouth. Looked like papers or documents. It walked to the end of the hall, set whatever it was carrying on a desk, then walked back the way it came. Still upright, still very, very unsettling. I started to bring a camera, but the pictures never came out right. Just blurry shapes in that same blue glow where eyes should be. Last night was my final shift. I know that now. I was doing routine checks on the monitoring equipment when I heard it. A scream from the direction of Reactor 4. Not an animal sound. Human. A human was screaming for their lives. Desperate and terrified, like someone was dying. I grabbed my radio. Dispatch, this is Volkov. I'm hearing distress calls from Reactor 4. Are there any other crews on site? Static. And then I got an answer. Negative, Volkov. You're the only one scheduled tonight. The scream came again. It was closer this time. Well, if I was the only one on the shift, then what could be making that noise? I should have stayed put, and I should have waited for backup, but that scream, it sounded like someone who needed help right now. I made my way toward reactor 4, following the sound. My dosimeter was clicking steadily. Normal background radiation for this area. The scream had stopped, but now I could hear something else. Laughter? It was coming from below, from the basement level where they keep the elephant's foot sealed away. The elephant's foot is the most radioactive mass on Earth. It is an amalgamation of molten uranium, concrete, and debris. In the 1990s, if you stood there for even 5 minutes, the radiation would kill you. It has been locked ever since. The room is always locked, and I'm the only maintenance worker with the key, which I've never used. Orders are to report any issues with that door immediately and wait for specialists. But as I got closer, I could see light spilling out from under the door. Dim, blue light. The door was slightly open. I checked my keyring. The key was still there. The only one who could have opened that door was me, and I sure as hell hadn't been down there tonight. The laughter was definitely coming from inside. Soft, almost childlike, like someone had heard a funny joke but were trying to hold their laugh in. I should have run. Every instinct I had was screaming at me to get out. Call for help. Let someone else handle this. But my feet kept moving forward for some reason. I had to know. I pushed the door wider and stepped inside. The elephant's foot was glowing. Not the dull, dark mask I'd seen in the training photos. This was bright, pulsing with that same blue light I'd been seeing in the animal's eyes. It looked fresh, hot, like it had just formed yesterday. My dosimeter started clicking faster, then faster, and within seconds it was a solid, high-pitched whine that meant I was taking lethal doses of radiation and needed to evacuate the area right away. What the hell? I whispered. And that's when I heard the door slam shut behind me. I spun around and tried the handle. Locked. I fumbled for my key, but when I tried to insert it, it wouldn't fit. Like the lock had changed. What the hell is happening? I'm trapped in here with that thing, my dosimeter is screaming, and I can already feel my skin starting to burn. I'm typing this on my phone. I don't know why. Maybe I just need someone to know what happened. Maybe I need to warn people. My hands are shaking. Hard to type. The skin on my knuckles are starting to blister and peel. The elephant's foot is getting brighter. I swear I can see shapes in the glow. Faces. They're all looking at me and smiling. The laughter started again. It's not coming from the mass, it's coming from the walls. The ceiling? No, everywhere. I just looked at my watch. It says 1:23 a.m. The date says April 26th, 1986. The glow is getting brighter. I think I understand now. I think I'm not the first maintenance worker to find this room open. I can hear footsteps in the hallway outside. Slow, deliberate, getting closer. My watch is running backwards now. If you're reading this, don't come looking for me. And whatever you do, never work the night shift in the zone. Some doors should stay locked. The footsteps have stopped right outside. Someone's trying to handle. A deafening explosion shook the floor above me. 1:22 a.m., April 26th, 1986. The reactor has exploded. I think I need to get back to work now. That story was absolutely amazing. Props to user A2pro75, man. Props to him. But yo, when I heard the name Volkov, My mind immediately went to Alex Volkov from Twisted Love, Book 1. Yo, oh my god. Y'all don't, if you know, look, if you know, you know, okay? If you know, you know. But, that's it for tonight. If you liked the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share with your friends. And with that being said, good night.